What's up, football family? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Show. I'm your host, PL Coulter. Now, it's week 3 of the fantasy football season, and today we're going to talk tight ends. I'm going to show you some love on who to start, who's your sleeper, and who's that stud that you have in your starting lineup that may need to take a trip to the pond this week. We call that our homer alert. So let's get started. Week three's number one fantasy football stud from the tight end position will be Mr. Jason Witten of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys will be facing a Houston Texans defense on Sunday that's given up over 400 yards a game passing and over 100 yards and a touchdown to the tight end position alone. You add that to the fact that the Cowboys are ineffective in running the ball and must throw it early and often to even stay in the game with a high-powered Texans offense, and you have all the makings for Witten to have a breakout performance this week. If you're looking for a honorable mention or second tier stud tight end, you may want to look at Dustin Keller of the New York Jets. Now, Keller's coming off a monstrous game against the Patriots, and it looks like he's becoming the safety valve for quarterback Mark Sanchez. Now, you add that to the fact that there will be no Santonio Holmes at one wide receiver position, and Braylon Edwards' status at the other wide receiver position is up in the air due to his recent DUI arrest. He may get in, he may not. We're not sure of how many snaps that he'll play. So if there's any balls to go around for Mr. Sanchez, look for Keller to be the target on most of those. Now, if you're looking for a sleeper tight end, you may want to scan the waiver wire for Marcedes Lewis of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Lewis, he's a bit of an unknown. He plays for a small market team with a no-name offense, but he's getting it done right now. He already has 2 touchdowns in 2 games, and he's coming off a 5-catch, 70-yard performance against the San Diego Chargers. Now, he's facing an Eagles defense that's averaging 6 catches and 80 yards to the tight end position, and looking at the matchup on paper, it may be another blowout in store. So look for Marcedes Lewis to get some garbage time catches, yards, and maybe even a vulture touchdown late in the second half. Now, we move on to our homer alert pick. Now, for those who didn't catch last week's episode, your homer alert is the player that you keep in your lineup because of who he is and where you drafted him. Say you drafted him in the first 5 rounds. He's a perennial Pro Bowler. He's going to the Hall of Fame, yada, yada, yada. Put him on your bench. This week's candidate be none other than Mr. Tony Gonzalez. Yes, Mr. 1,000 catches as a tight end himself has been killing me in my fantasy football league because I hadn't been taking my own advice. So this week, you go to the pond, Mr. Gonzalez. And if any of you fantasy football family out there own Mr. Gonzalez, one stat jumps out at me. 54 yards and no touchdowns for the season. So if there's a Dustin Keller sitting on your bench or Marcedes Lewis on your waiver wire, you may want to make that switch for 1 week only. Yes, he may go on to have a Pro Bowl season this year, but this week is not the week. Hope that helps you get your lineup tight. This is your boy PL signing off. And in closing, life's a sport, so play to win. God bless. I'm out.